Hello, everyone, and welcome to my Retrocast, the podcast where two guys look back at the show that shaped our lives. I'm Blake. Kyle is not here in studio for this intro. Let me explain what's going on. This show was previously recorded as an extra show that we did to have some fun. I'm putting it up here on the feed as the break between Season 1 and Season 2. This is us breaking down the T.G.I.F lineup over the years. We had a lot of fun with this. It's a pretty long show, but it's a really, really good one. I'm going to throw it to our actual introduction with this episode of BMR Retrocast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to BMR Retrocast. I'm Blake.
I'm Kyle. I'm once again the former Prime Minister of New Zealand. Gotta get new job titles.
This actually is something that that Kyle brought up. Actually, we did something he wanted to do. And what is that we're doing today?
We are going over T.G.I.F.
Yes, the history of T.G.I.F. And I hope this works. I tried to find the theme song of T.G.I.F. that was on all the time, and I hope this is the right one.
It's Friday night, and the mood is right. We're gonna have some fun, show you how it's done, T.G.I.F. Hello,
Wow. I haven't heard that in years. I really haven't. It's so simple.
Yeah.
It's literally 10 seconds, but I haven't heard that in years.
And it was leading into a nice little promo with Larry and Belky.
Who, by the way, we're using Wikipedia, and that's actually their graphic on the Wikipedia page.
It's them doing an interstitial for T.G.I.F.
It's pretty cool. I think that's pretty freaking cool. So, T.G.I.F, a lot of people don't really realize this was actually a thing, especially in the 90s. That's actually where a lot of our favorite shows came from, honestly. Yeah. A lot of our favorite shows.
Perfect Strangers, Family Matters.
Yeah, and we're going to go through them all as we go along here. According to Wikipedia, there's actually apparently some Friday night comedies back in the 60s and the 70s on ABC at one time.
Yeah, I mean, like Ozzie and Harriet, Leave It to Beaver, The Donna Reed Show, The Flintstones.
Good list. Brady Bunch.
Partridge Family.
So, it also looks like they moved the Wonderful World of Disney over there as well for a little while.
Yeah.
But then we move into the T.G.I.F era, which a lot of people our age kind of are like, yeah, it makes sense. But it started in 1989, which is crazy. Absolutely freaking crazy. I would have never guessed it went back that far. I really did not think that. But then you realize the shows that were going on back then. Let me bring up 1989 lineup. And interesting lineup. The first lineup for T.G.I.F. And we're able to play some theme songs as we go along here, by the way, people, just so bring back some memories.
And just a little interesting here, since the 1987-88 season, Perfect Strangers stars Mark Lindbaker and Bronson Pinchot in character as Larry Appleton and Belky Bartakabis, respectively, have been doing hosted interstitials that were conducted from the Perfect Strangers set, originally airing during the sitcom block that just moved to Fridays, and the interstitials went with them.
Well, then that would be this.
Sometimes the world looks perfect, nothing to rearrange. Sometimes you just get a feeling like you need some kind of change. No matter odds are this time, nothing's gonna stand in my way. This flame in my heart, like a long lost friend, gives every dark street a light at the end. Standing tall on the wings of my dream, rise and fall on the wings of my dream. Through the rain and thunder, the wind and haze, I'm bound for better days. It's my life and my dream, and nothing's gonna stop me now.
It's an utter crime that this song has not been released in full.
What a phenomenal song.
Yeah.
It's a phenomenal song.
David Pomeranz, who's also better known for doing Got to Believe in Magic from the Scott Baio vehicle Zapped.
Is it really? Okay,
Yeah.
I did not know that. Now, this, like we said, this show actually predates T.G.I.F. It started in 1986, went to 1993. I love this show. I absolutely love this show. I tuned in, obviously. I came in late. Obviously, when the T.J.F. era started, I came in late. We're actually based in Chicago, by the way.
Yeah.
So note that. Interesting. What did you think of the show when it was on? Because we were like real young when this show was on. It's kind of more of an adult show compared to other things on this block.
I remember absolutely loving Belky. I'm actually shocked he didn't get his own doll like Steve Urkel.
Well, this is pre-doll, probably why.
Yeah.
It's pre that.
I mean, Ernest got his own doll, Beetlejuice got his own doll, Steve Urkel got his own doll.
Well, like I said, this show, originally, if you ever watched the first few seasons, it was very adult.
Yeah.
Until it jumped to TJF and they kind of changed it a little bit. Balky got crazier,
Yeah.
and then got a little nuttier. But
Crazier?
have you ever seen the first two seasons of the show? He's not as nuts in the first two seasons.
You know,
He really isn't.
more of the fish out of water than as he settles in.
And then he gets crazier as the series continues. I watched it for a couple of seasons one time. It's really different. The first seasons are really different than the show that picked up.
Yeah, unfortunately, the first two seasons are the only ones that are available on DVD at this point.
It's sad because the show got so much better after season 3 and 4. It got so much better. But
I always do remember Larry trying to teach Belky how to drive. Drive using, I believe, a plunger, a grapefruit, and somebody else. And yeah, when he wanted him to give a little more gas, it's like, okay, use plunger, a little more grapefruit, more grapefruit.
That's funny.
And how he got his license was that while he was in the middle of the test, his instructor had a heart attack and he drove him to the hospital.
That's really, really funny. I remember that, actually. There were so many little things like that. You know what I mean? That's such a different show.
Yeah, they reran it on Nick at Night.
They did do that for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, Nick at Night was the older shows.
Yeah, I used to watch it in the early mornings when I was getting ready for school. We were getting ready for school during high school. They had it back to back with Head of the Class.
Oh. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's really interesting, actually. I'm actually just punching up something up here for the next show.
And I was just checking, maybe see if maybe Warner Archive had started putting the other seasons on DVD. Nope, that's just the first two seasons.
No. But still, it's interesting. It's one of those things where that was one of those shows that you didn't realize how good it was until you actually sat and like, wow, this is something different. This is actually different. And it did spin off a show we're going to talk about later.
Yeah.
Which we'll get into when we get there. But,
oh, and interesting, their boss for like the first two seasons was Pumbaa.
Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, Ernie Sabella.
He was also on Saved by the Bell, too, though, Ernie Sabella, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think.
The Beach Years. The Beach Years? Wasn't he in the Beach season?
I think, yeah.
So, yeah.
I love how you have to refer to a season of a show as the beach season.
Oh, the summer season.
Yeah.
It was that middle summer season that nobody remembers happened.
Yeah.
That almost on Go Bayside, listen to Go Bayside, they almost skipped over it because it wasn't on the season set. It was a separate disc. It was a whole separate disc.
Maybe everybody's just trying to pretend that it never happened.
I do say, though, they actually did. The problem with this near the end of the series, ratings were declining. They weren't sure if the show was even going to come back.
Yeah.
After season 7.
Yeah. They
did pick it back up season 8. They got one more season. The finale I thought was well done, because both Marianne and Jennifer had kids.
Yeah.
At the end, everyone was married, and then they had a fantastic montage at the end, unforgettable.
And they gave birth to their kids. They gave birth to their kids in a hot air balloon.
Yes. Yes, they did. Jennifer's was born in a hot air balloon, not Marianne. One of them was. One of the other ones. No, Marianne. They came back from the honeymoon in help me, Balky's home country.
Mypos.
In Mypos, they went on a honeymoon in Mypos, which is really funny, and they got back, and she was ridiculously over the top pregnant, and then she went into labor at the beginning of the episode. That pissed off Jennifer because she was really late, and that's where the hot air balloon thing came from. But the finale I thought was fantastic, and they ended it with a fantastic montage I'll never forget to Unforgettable, which was such a sweet ending.
Did they do one more Dance of Joy for old times?
They did. Actually, right before that, they did do because they had to celebrate the kids.
Yeah,
they had to celebrate the kids.
Oh, and now we do the dance.
Hang on a second. If we're gonna do it, we gotta do it.
We gotta let the masters do it.
Now we are so happy we do the dance of joy.
And ending on a pose that could only say, "Kiss me, you impetuous fool."
It never gets old. That really never gets old. That's so funny every time. Anyone that watched this show is laughing right now because you're just thinking of it. It's so freaking funny.
And what I thought was interesting is Mark Lynn Baker's still acting. Bronson Pinchot's in real estate now. He flips houses.
Really?
Yeah, he flips houses.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
He actually has a show on one of those home improvement channels where he basically flips houses.
I heard about that. I forgot he did that. I forgot about that. Well, then, on the original T.G.I.F. lineup, we move on to the next show, one of the more famous shows on here.
And one that's getting a spinoff.
And we'll talk about Fuller House in a couple of minutes, but we'll talk about this first.
Whatever happened to predictability? The milkman, the paperboy, evening TV. Did I get delivered here? Somebody tell me, please. This old world confusing me. Clouds as mean as you'll ever see. Ain't a bird who knows you're true. Then a little voice inside you whisper, sell your dreams so soon. Everywhere you look, there's a heart, a hand to hold on to. Everywhere you look, there's a place of somebody who needs you. Everywhere you look, when you're lost out there and you're all alone, life is waiting to carry you home. Everywhere you look, everywhere you look.
Well, now I think about it, the producer's name would be a great name for a mafioso. Hey, line up and kiss the ring of Don Van Atta.
Well, of course, we're talking about one of the most, like I said, one of the most well-known shows in TGIF history, and that was Full House. And this show actually lasted 8 seasons. I think it also predated TGIF.
Yeah, it came out in 87.
Is it dead? And this was a great show when it started.
And then the seasonal rots kicked in somewhere.
Yeah, the last couple of years weren't that good. But they moved to Tuesdays. When they moved to Tuesdays, I remember looking up real fast. When they moved to Tuesdays. Because it was a weird jump. It was the first show to leave TGIF. Yeah. Really, it was the first one. Where it kind of left at times on. They moved it over to Tuesday because it was so popular.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up while you
did
talk
they not
in.
realize if it ain't broke, don't fix it?
Well, I understood what they were doing because they realized, oh my god, it's such a popular show. There it is. It was after the 4th season, so halfway through the show they moved it. Yeah, it did. They moved it after the 4th season. Yeah, full time Tuesday on the 5th season. There it is, 5th season. So the second half of the series is on Tuesday nights.
And that's when the quality started to go.
Well, that and the Olsen twins started to grow up, and it started being about them instead of about everybody else. Because that was a great show when it was just the family, when it's all the family. Yeah. All like Seventh Heaven, where it was a family show. But it was more, with Seventh Heaven, it was more religious. But this is the same mentality here. It's where the whole hugging joke comes from. You know what I mean?
The dad talk.
The dad talks, and the swelling music in the background during the speeches. And we watch Full House now, and I have to make fun of it now because it's so ridiculous, you know. But it's a great show still, nonetheless.
Yeah. And it actually has a pretty cool complete series gift set where it actually comes in a replica of the Tanner house.
So, I think it's a really cool. It's one of the better shows that they actually pulled off. I'm just looking up trying to find one of these songs from the show because there was so much singing on the show. It was so different at the time.
Well, it helps when one of your cast members is John Stabis, who's
amazing.
Yeah, who's amazing, a giant Beach Boys fan.
And he got to sing Beach Boys songs on the show, but
he actually was a part of the band for a while.
He was a part of the band. I wasn't going to play a Justin Ripper song here first, but I'm going to play this first.
This one's going out to a little lady who's about to go to sleep. 2, 3, 4. You love I put a chain around my neck. Oh, let him be. I don't want to be your tiger.